Alright, so we're going to start a little fire in the Bobcat Rocket Stove this morning. We have just some scrap wood here, and we're going to give some pointers on how to start a nice fire. So what I like to do is I like to take some wood that I've just chopped up, usually using like a claw hammer, chop it up in little bits, and then I start by building the fire with small pieces into like a grid pattern. So I slide these all the way to the back with some spacing between them. Make sure they hang off the sides of the primary intake here. Build that all the way out to the front. Maybe a ½ inch of spacing between each one. Like so. That way air can get between each piece. Some of this wood is a little bit green. It'd be ideal to have some drier wood, but that's okay. So now I'm going to put the next layer on. This piece is a little bit long. Let's see if we can jam that in there. So I'm going to put the next layer on, just doing it in a grid pattern, kind of like an H. Just stack some in there nicely, like so. Lots of air exposure in between each piece. Lots of fuel, lots of surface area. I'm going to go back to the narrows now and build on top of that. So you can kind of adjust the temperature and burn rate of your fire with the size of your fuel. If you use lots of small pieces, you're going to get a hot fire fast. Once you get the hot fire going, you can start putting larger pieces in there. The larger pieces will burn a little bit cooler, but they will burn longer. So if you want to heat things up quickly, go with small wood. If you want a longer burn, go with larger pieces of wood. Let's see if these are cut short enough. Yeah, they'll probably fit. Try to just jam some more in here. Yeah, there we go. Slide that sideways. Alright, so now we need to get some newspaper and just stuff in there so that we can get this kindling going. Okay, now we're ready to get a match and light this up. Alright, so we've got some newspaper packed in there a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and light this up, get it going. I'm going to close this door just a little bit here. Try to encourage the flame to go back towards the rear of the stove. this up just a little bit. So you can see the fire is just getting going. It's kind of a lazy flame. If I close the door up a little bit, it starts to encourage the draft to come through the primary intake, and you can see the flame kind of pick up and speed up just right between the door and the stove there. So I'm going to leave it like that, just open a little bit as we get this fire going. So we just got this fire started. You can see that the wood is still smoking, the wood is a little bit moist, and that'll start to dissipate as the fuel comes up to temperature and the stove rises to operating temperature. Getting going pretty good here. I'm going to start stuffing some more fuel in it just to increase the heat. I don't know if you can hear it on the video, but there's a little bit of a rocket effect type noise with the draft sucking in through the intake here and then going up the chimney, pulling the flames right to the back. So I like to just stuff it full of fuel once it gets going, gets it nice and hot, goes smoke free. You can cook on it, boil water. I'm going to close this door again a little bit. So we just got this fire started. As you can see, it's still smoking a little bit as it comes up to temperature, but the stove is nice and hot now. Just going to grab a little bit of water here and throw it on the top plate. You can see it's really nice and hot. I'll grab a little bit more and show you how hot this is. Still rising in temperature as the fuel burns and comes up to operating temperature. So we started this fire at 10:48 a.m. It is now 10:54 a.m. and it looks like we're going smoke free here pretty quick. So we got about 6 minutes, probably another couple minutes, and it'll be just invisible heat signature. So the fire's now gone smoke free. We're about 8 minutes in. We'll see the flame that's going in here. We've got a fair amount of wood. And just want to reiterate the fact that a good fire starts with good wood. If you've got wet green wood, you're going to get a cold fire. It's tough to start. It'll smoke quite a bit. There'll be a lot of steam coming out. With good dry seasoned wood, you'll get a hot fire. It'll cook fast. It'll go smoke free fast. I'm going to throw some water here on this top burner plate too. You can see it's getting nice and hot. And no smoke.